Notre Dame keeps its college football playoff hopes alive while ending USC's. South Bend, Indiana, the 13th-ranked Notre Dame football team overwhelmed number 11 Southern Cal on Saturday night in what amounted to an elimination game for college football playoff contention. By the time the Fighting Irish were through dismantling the Trojans in a 49-14 victory, quarterback Brandon Wimbush had erased any doubts about the health of his right ankle and elevated Notre Dame squarely into the conversation for one of the 4 berths in the 4th installment of the tournament determining the sport's national champion. Wimbush accounted for 4 touchdowns and 226 yards of total offense after missing a game with ankle soreness, leading the Fighting Irish to their 5th consecutive win. The redshirt junior had an extra week of rest coming into this long-standing rivalry because Notre Dame had a bye last weekend. In front of a packed house at Notre Dame Stadium, tailback Josh Adams added 191 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns on 19 carries, giving the Fighting Irish 2 players with at least 100 rushing yards in the same game for 4th time this season. Notre Dame had 5 such games over the previous 15 years combined. College football winners and losers, Bedlam is avoided. Long live Bedlam. The Fighting Irish, 6-1, amassed 497 years of total offense, including 377 rushing, in the first meeting between the schools since 2009 when both were ranked at the same time. Notre Dame averaged 7.4 yards per play and converted 7 of 13 third-down attempts in beating the Trojans for just the 5th time in the last 16 games in the series. Southern Cal, meanwhile, emerged discombobulated from the start and never managed much offensively. Quarterback Sam Darnold, an NFL prospect once considered a leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy, finished 20 of 28 for 229 yards. 2 touchdowns and 1 interception before coming out for good early in the 4th quarter with the outcome well in hand for Notre Dame. As a result, the Trojans, 6-2, have virtually no hope of securing a berth in the college football playoff with 2 losses and a remaining regular season schedule with no marquee opponents. Complete college football scoreboard for Week 8. Notre Dame's path to the Final Four continues on solid footing given the rugged rest of the season that includes games against North Carolina State, Miami, and Stanford, who are all ranked. The Fighting Irish are an independent in football and thus won't play in a conference championship game. The first college football playoff rankings are scheduled to be released October 31st. The rout was on midway through the 2nd quarter Saturday night thanks to Adams's 3-yard touchdown run for a 21-0 lead. The Fighting Irish needed to go only 9 yards on 3 plays on that possession after USC returner Jack Jones allowed a punt to slip through his grasp and Notre Dame's Drew Tranquill fell on the loose ball. During the Trojans' ensuing possession, Notre Dame cornerback Nick Watkins stepped in front of an ill-advised throw from Darnold for an interception that produced the Fighting Irish's 3rd takeaway in the first half. It was the 16th forced turnover for Notre Dame this season. It had 14 all of last year. Notre Dame took over at its 41-yard line, and Wimbush marched the Fighting Irish to the 4 before finishing off the drive with a run around the left side on 3rd and goal to extend the lead to 28-0. That touchdown provided Notre Dame an 87-10 advantage over its opponents in points off turnovers this season. An early turnover had set up Notre Dame's first touchdown. On the Trojans' opening possession, Darnold momentarily bobbled a high snap and linebacker Tevon Coney pried the ball loose on a sack and recovered the fumble at the Notre Dame 49. 3 plays later, wide receiver Equanimeous St. Brown got behind Jones, a starter at cornerback who would later be guilty of the muffed punt return, on a post pattern. St. Brown caught Wimbush's pass in stride for a 26-yard touchdown with 12:45 to go in the first quarter. The lead expanded to 14-0 less than 3 minutes later on a 23-yard touchdown pass from Wimbush to wide receiver Kevin Stepherson. The sophomore got behind cornerback Isaiah Langley, turning him around and causing him to stumble, before making an acrobatic reception in the front right corner of the end zone. The most promising drive for USC in the first half ended in futility at the Notre Dame 9 when Chase McGraw missed well right on a 27-yard field goal try. More college football. College football winners and losers, Bedlam is avoided. Long live Bedlam. Navy football loses leader Zacoby to injury as UCF earns its first 6-0 start. Maryland football has not been able to match Big Ten's best on defense. Penn State payback, number 2 Nittany Lions